oppression of one by another, and bear the indignity of being the skunk of the world. Yaga, 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 Lubuurwa, and welcome you here on Campfire TV Special Edition. We started with that song for a specific reason. We need to understand how and when and where and why the People Power Organization or the People Power Movement, NUP, will make that song come to a reality. Tonight, I'm joined by the People Diaspora Leadership Team, one from the Greater Boston, here in Massachusetts, United States of America, and the overall diaspora leader, Herman Ainabiona and Dorothy Lubuurwa. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me today in this special edition. We just want to understand the key things that are going on within NUP and People Power as a movement. The world is asking so many questions, especially right from the elections to where we are today, to the nominations and all that. So I'm sure that I have the right team to answer the simple questions I have. And the questions that I've gotten from the community all over the world, from the diaspora back to Uganda, there are so many questions that people would like to know, especially from the diaspora community. So let me start with the lady. Ladies first, it's a principal. Dorothy, how are you doing? Dorothy, you are the coordinator for the Greater Boston area. How is it so far? Tell us a little bit about the Greater Boston area, People Power NUP leadership or team. Yeah.
Thank you so much, David, for having me here today. Good evening, viewers. I'm glad to be here at Campfire. My name, as you already heard, Dorothy Lubuurwa Stewart. I'm the People Power Coordinator for Greater Boston chapter. You ask how the People Power movement is doing in Boston. The reason we're here is to let you know that we are really operational in Boston, in Massachusetts. People Power is doing great. We're having a lot of activities, and we're here to call upon everyone, every supporter, to come and join our team so we can get the People Power movement moving until we get that ngule.
All right. Sure. How many want to thank you so much. You guys are both my friends. It's very funny. People ask me, do you only bring your friends on your show? No, it's not like that. It's, I get people who will give us facts, not just lies or political answers. So how many I want to thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate you for becoming the leader of the diaspora community. You are my boss. If I was part of the NUP, if I was part of the People Power movement, I'll be coming to you every question. I'll be like, oh, sir, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Coordinator, Mr. Everything. So I want to thank you so much and congratulate you again for reaching that milestone. But how is the diaspora performing so far?
Where do I start? That's a broad question. But first of all, I want to thank you for hosting us. We don't take this opportunity lightly, because these are some of the chances we get to communicate to our people, considering the times we are in, coronavirus and all that. But if you want to know how the diaspora is doing, I think comrades are firm, challenges notwithstanding, but comrades are firm, comrades are focused, and comrades are working really hard. I mean, Boston, it's non-stop. People Power work, meetings every, I think twice a week, you know, 3-hour meetings. So I think the diaspora is very passionate about this struggle because it sits deep with us. Everyone who left home knows about this. I mean, some people might choose to ignore or divert or whatever coping mechanisms you use. You know, I'm a nurse. So if I break down coping mechanisms, diversion, you know, substitution, I think people use all those coping mechanisms, but the reality remains the reality.
So just to understand, when you talk about the diaspora, we're talking about Europe and USA, Asia, and that's it? Or what is the diaspora to just make somebody understand?
Oh, wow. The diaspora is a big team. We initially had chapters, Canada, Boston, California, Seattle, Washington, D.C., Texas and Florida. We are trying to, you know, to build up. That's in the U.S. Or in North America. But then we also have South Africa. Jaja Ibu is the team leader. Ghana, Namata is the team leader there. Sweden, Comrade Victor Jadribo is the team leader there. UAE, Patricia Mugisha. UK, Comrade Belinda team, and the team there, Hood Sempewa and, you know, Lee and several others. That was initial, okay? Recently, we just added about 6 new teams. We added Greece, we added Australia, we added Japan, we added China, and Denmark and Norway, okay? So we are, it's an expansion every day, and I want to encourage people to keep reaching out, to keep building these teams within themselves as we work towards networking. We just need to build these cells, and then soon we are, you know, we have 3 months to converge. All right. And you will see what will happen.
So you said you guys have 3 months to converge, and recently we had a general election. So I want to start with that because it's what's on ground, it's what people are talking about. We had so many results from different areas. We had from your opposition, which is NRM. We had some results from your organization, and different analysts came up with different opinions on how you guys performed. So in your diaspora perspective, do you think NUP performed well? Because results show or indicate that in most places you lost. It's only the central part where you really performed well. So where do you think you have to improve, and do you think you really performed good?
I think as a journalist, I think you're asking the question. I don't know if you're asking a question or making a statement.
I'm actually asking the question because I'm looking at the evidence.
Because you know that information is as credible as its source. Eh? So yeah. if you're choosing to give information from maybe Andrew Mwenda, that is how credible that information will be.
Even the president himself.
even
President
Museveni. So if you want the opinion of NUP, I am not on ground, okay? So I don't want to sound like I know where we have candidates and blah blah blah. I want to keep it realistic. Every place where we had a candidate, we won, at least most. The challenge is where you saw some independent candidates, it's because our, they delayed to get stamps for NUP, so they registered as independents. In the history of Uganda, this is the first time that you have heard about youth elections, I'm sure, David. You heard about them, but they were known as an NRM thing. Okay? So I think if we choose to focus on, to be positive about ourselves, there are many positives to pull from, okay? If we choose to say you only, depending on your source again, you only want central region, I think there is, we can choose to do that and focus on that. I think yes, what we can say is that there were challenges, we have to admit. Of course, for us, for instance, I have credible information that every candidate, every NRM candidate got 10,000 shillings. A candidate got 10,000 shillings to participate. I don't know if you have the perspective of youth elections, but it is a village-to-village election. It means that if you don't know someone on the village, if you have not talked to someone
you were saying that NRM has the resources to facilitate their candidates.
Exactly. Definitely. They are more capable than us. For us, that is why we are tireless. Me, I shouldn't be here. You know, we should be doing other things. But we are tirelessly trying to mobilize people to come and join these efforts. Most of the funds that went into these youth elections came from the diaspora. I want to thank the DC team. Mr. Karim Tambi was on top of this. And several teams, UK and Seattle, they were very, very focused. We had our coordinators on ground in meetings with us, trying to explain the need, and we were facilitating some of these efforts. So if you want me to talk about, can I talk about the diaspora?
So basically, yeah, basically I want to know because...
participation?
Yes, because somehow one may say that you lost these youth elections, the PWDs and old people's sectors, because maybe you did not facilitate your members very well, so they could not campaign. And what role does the diaspora play in this to make sure that all your candidates go participate and win these elections?
First of all, thank you so much. David, first of all, we should know and remember the regime, I mean who we are competing with. The regime has, first of all, resources and manpower and security. This is a regime which has decided to turn the security officials who are supposed to be neutral in everything, because police, army, everything is for all Ugandans. Even electoral commission. But they have decided to use that against the opposition. So intimidation.
They're doing legally.
That is illegal. Intimidation. Our youth faced a lot of intimidation. If you watched the social media, did you watch a clip where the 1-inch overpowered a gunman? The police officer was trying to shoot people because the NRM was losing. So such incidences were all over the country. Intimidation. Where on our part, we had short of logistics, and funding, finance. We didn't have enough. Of course, we are competing with a regime who has been in power for 35 years and swindling through government coffers. So that's also a shortfall on our side, but also the mechanism used by the regime.
So you admit that because of your problems financially, you are not in position to win these elections. Is that what you're trying to confirm?
It is not strictly financial. Like she said, I don't know if you heard, she said there are frustrations from the people who are supposed to smoothen the process, like the police she mentioned, the polling agents, so the ones in charge of the election. They see NUP forms in some areas and they turn you away. So that's why we didn't have candidates in some areas. Okay? So we had many issues. People submit NUP forms and they find their names are written under NRM. So there are many challenges that we can choose to highlight. But of course, I think it was very, very, very good that we participated in this election because it gives us a highlight of what we need to do. We don't have experience in elections, right? We are a new body, and the only elections we've seen are the parliamentary ones, the by-elections that have been going on. So I think it gives us it was very good that we participated because there are very many areas where we are sporting and we are doing more work to address the issues.
All right, so let me get you back to the question of what role is the diaspora playing? Are you only going to focus on financing the campaigns and the process? What else are you going to do as a diaspora community? It's good I have the diaspora leader and the assistant here in the Boston community. So it's very interesting to know what's going on. What role are you guys playing in making sure that you smoothen the process?
So we have 3 roles. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. 1 is mobilization, 2 is sensitization, and 3 is organization. That's a role of anyone who is in the movement. You don't have to be attached to the diaspora team to do work. I want to make that clear. If you're in Argentina or if you're in Peru and you're by yourself, you're a Ugandan, remember those 3 roles: organization, sensitization, and mobilization, right? If you can mobilize through social media, do that. If you can mobilize on your village level, Devi, if you go to church, go to that church and talk to a few people, right? It is all, we use the word kwebe deramu. I try to find an English interpretation of that, but it's so natural when it comes from Luganda, right? We all have to be involved as opposed to sitting back and demanding results from something we don't, it is like milking a cow you haven't fed. We think the other way around. We think that you first have to be involved and submerged, then you can demand for the results. Then you can assess yourselves. How do you assess yourselves from the outside? I pity the NRM. I feel bad for you journalists sometimes.
We do our job.
Because I know. It is very interesting because you've had NRM people say, I think what NUP should do,
because they're trying to see.
Are they trying to help?
How can someone from NRM?
They are trying to
There's
see.
only one way that NRM can help.
They have a feeling. They believe that you have the potential to win these elections. But the errors that you have and you're not solving, you won't make it.
Right.
That's why they're giving you ideas on
And
how
we
to
appreciate.
solve the problem.
We appreciate the ideas.
It is funny to talk about. I know it is both funny and sad, but when you think about it realistically, I see people who are very, very intellectual doctors saying, I think what NUP should do. Someone who was sleeping with the enemy the other day says, who is paid. But I think there's only one way that NRM can help us, and that is leave power for other people to be involved. Okay, that is the only request we have.
Or organize a free and fair election.
That's true. That's true if they are capable of that. But since you and I don't trust them enough, you don't trust them too, right?
I don't know. I just want to know.
But since they are not trusted enough, I would propose to them, just like they give us advice, allow me give them advice. Right. Leave Uganda and allow for other players to participate, right? do not frustrate Ugandans from being part of.
All right, so
To add on to that,
Right.
you ask about what the diaspora is doing or should do. As he said, through by participation. Another way, we are calling upon all Ugandans, all peace-loving people and lovers of change. You need to get on your phone, call your village, call your aunties, your mothers, talk about NUP, talk about change, talk about why we need change in the country. That's the only way, the first thing, the fastest way to
participate.
To participate. Sensitize our villages, where we come from. Sensitize, whenever you send money with a message.
So let me ask you a question. You know, Haman mentioned that you have the 3 principles of mobilization, fundraising, and sensitization. Where is your strength? That you feel like, yes, for this, we have actively moved at least 99% or 80%. And even though we lost in these youth elections, we still have a potential based on what we have on the ground. We know from the social media point of view that people power is strong, online is strong. Do you really, inside people power in the diaspora community, do you feel you're strong on the ground as NUP versus what we see online?
Yes. Actually, our challenge is not support. Our challenge is galvanizing the support and identifying leaders to guide that support. That is our challenge. The support in Uganda for NUP and people power is not spoken, it speaks for itself. Okay? See what's happening after the principal addresses, is on radio or whatever. I mean, it is, no one pays these people, no one, you know what I mean? But our challenge, I think, I personally like to look at problems and try to address those. So our challenge is to identify the leaders, which we are doing through structuring, and galvanize that support to give us success. You asked what we have been successful at.
Right.
I think sensitization, even the Electoral Commission admits that for this registration of voters, there were several million people who were added onto the register, right? So I think we've been fairly successful as compared to many players.
Right.
Mobilization. I just told you for the diaspora, we added six new teams in the diaspora. I don't know if you understand what that means, but that means coordinating people in different time zones. We were just on a call where someone in Australia is up at 1 a.m. trying to find out how they can what contributions they can make, to find out how we organize, to find out. So I think mobilization is happening, and we have fairly succeeded. Tell me any other political party that has a presence in the diaspora like NUP. Tell me one.
Dorothy, do you have an answer for that?
So yeah, I think we are doing well. I don't think there is also any other political party that is being funded by Ugandans in the diaspora.
All right.
As
So
much as
let's get back to what's happening in Uganda in the electoral commission or electoral college within your organization. When People Power was starting, there's the number of people who are expected to be nominated by the organization, probably NUP after, or People Power then. And these were going to compete against now the new members who have just joined NUP, people like Honorable Bettina Mbozi, Medad Seguna, and the rest. What strategies are you having to make sure that you don't create grievances between these, what one may say, diehards who started with People Power? They join NUP afterwards, and then you have these new leaders who are already members of parliament. What are you going to do to solve the equation between them?
I think that is also, you see, with every success, there is a challenge.
There is a challenge.
You know, we hope that every political player, you know, we are very appreciative of the Colonel for his decision, but we hope that every political player joins us, or joins, you know, distinctively, speaks with one voice. Okay, and I think these other players coming into NUP is a big step towards that. It shows people how much impact we've had. We are the baby, but we are one of the most spoken about political players in the country. Now that challenge that you raise, we have addressed it in maybe 3 ways, okay? And it is a step-by-step approach, right? The first way is harmonization. We think that elections, you know, everyone thinks democracy is elections, right? Everyone thinks that, you know, we've had, you journalists are very interesting.
We have to raise these key issues because you are promising Ugandans that you're going to liberate them. You're going to be the new Jesuses of Uganda. You're going to be the new Godfathers of Uganda. So people need to know before they trust you with their country.
And that is what we have addressed, which I think is very brilliant. We think that the priority is not going to an election, okay? If we are friends, if we are speaking the same languages, if we have both berets, why do we rush into a primary without talking to each other first? Okay? So the first thing that our principal is doing is talk to the candidates. Actually, it's not the principal. These meetings are arranged by the Electoral Management Committee because those are the people who are charged. Right. Those are the people who are charged with harmonizing candidates. Okay? So our key, we hear you say by-election, primaries, whatever. But our first focus is to speak roundtable conversations between all players. It has been successful with Joel Senyonyi in Nakawa. It has been successful in Rubaga. It has been successful in Chadondo. And it is going to be successful in many other areas. Okay? So, because we want, if I'm running against Dorothy, I want Dorothy on my side still. Or if I am submitting, if I am giving in to Dorothy, I want to be able to support the central team or the headquarters. Think that it is important for even I that is running against Dorothy to support her. So our first way is what? Is harmonization, roundtable conversation. The second way, the second step, if that fails, there is a criteria set by the Electoral Management Committee. Unfortunately, which I don't sit on, but we can, you can have an interview with them and consult about how to filter candidates, which candidate, and then after that works out, if that fails, then we can maybe talk about election. But we don't hope to waste resources on each other. We don't hope to print posters. If I can print 10,000 posters and she can print 10,000 posters. We don't hope that we both print different posters. We hope that she prints 20,000, 20,000 posters to support her towards that. So I don't know if you get the picture of what I'm saying, but we are not jumping to primaries. That is not the direction.
We are holding peace talks in-house.
So is that showing democracy when these people have followers? Don't you think primaries will make a big difference because followers will say, oh, we had him speak about this. Maybe I need this candidate. Is that democracy you're trying to promote, or you also doing the same thing like what we see in NRM?
Have you seen situations where NRM candidates, where the President Museveni goes and stands against? I think it happened to this lady who was involved in the 7-year saga. What's her name? Nantaba, I think.
Yes.
Where the president brought a candidate against someone in her party.
Right.
That, for us, is a rift. The first step is to speak to each other, right? And try to build, ours is to unite first and not jump. I think democracy is anything that is peaceful, and as long as the leaders first, it is leaders' responsibilities to either support the process or disappoint it.
All right. So let me go to Dorothy. Dorothy, you are the leader of the Greater Boston. It's well known all over the world among us Ugandans that Boston has the biggest community around. Yes. First question, do you think all Bostonians support NUP or People Power? Yes or no?
I think most.
Most. Okay.
Most Bostonians support NUP and People Power.
All right. So the question is, what impact is your chapter playing in the political landscape of Uganda in regards to your organization, NUP People Power?
Thank you very much. That's a good question. My chapter is Boston. First of all, let me tell you, Bostonians, NUP and People Power and His Excellency Kyagulanyi in particular has a lot of hopes in Boston. A lot of hope in Boston because, first of all, we are many here. Two, most of us come here for reasons related to political instability in Uganda. So most of us need change and yearn for change in Uganda so we can go back home and do what we have to do. So I'm sure we support, but sometimes they don't know where to go or what to do or how to support. So that's why we are here. That's why we are having this conversation, to introduce ourselves to you, the people of Boston, and to mobilize you to come and join this team and know what is going on, let you know what is going on back home and what's going on here. We have organized a lot of activities here to sensitize our people to come and join us and to contribute to the struggle. First of all, we have a team we work with. I don't work as myself. So unfortunately, our members, you know, this day-to-day work, they are not here. We don't have the whole entire team. But if you permit, I can give you the names of those people.
Pretty much, maybe we'll do it sometime because really the world needs to know, especially the diaspora team, how the funds, I'm sure the diaspora people collect funds to support NUP.
Yes.
The question that has always been in the political environment of Uganda is people put money together, expecting that money to do the job, and it's never done. How can you convince Ugandans in Boston that all the money they collect is sent and does what it's supposed to do?
But we can give you examples of what we have done down in Uganda with the money we collect from Ugandans. First of all, we have supported so many activities down there. You remember when the quarantine and food and stuff, you saw Honorable Kyagulanyi giving food to different people. He didn't get that money out of his pocket. It was money you people gave to us, and we sent back home, and we have all receipts for that. We managed to feed people in Kampala and do a lot of activities, like the concluded youth elections. We participated because of the money raised from the diaspora. Well, if you will go to our secretariat, there's a big printer. You see all those posters, most posters, the calendars, the flyers, and the posters. It's Boston who raised the money to buy that big printer, which is in the secretariat. And we really, really appreciate and thank you, Bostonians. And we know you can do better. You can do better. We fundraise on a monthly basis, and whatever funds we collect, we send, and they do things. And they give us accountability where this money has gone. And we show the people, the members who contribute, we always show them where their money has been put to use.
All right.
And if David, since he's based in Boston, I want to welcome him because once you join, you will be able to understand that.
And you'll be inspired.
The innings. You are taking too long, my brother.
It's my job to get facts out there, okay. But you know,
that's what we are giving you right now.
so this is my last question, actually.
And to add to that,
right.
People shouldn't be worried about their money. We have a big team, a team of financial experts we are working with who handle that money. I don't even handle the money myself.
Yeah, because you know you talked about accountability, and people may be asking you a question.
And we bring the accountability to members, all those members who are contributing. We have a chat, a group chat of so many members, and we usually always bring accountability the money has gone.
Let me ask you this: is there any reason why you don't publicize it and you just give it back to the members who have contributed? Any reason for that?
Can he help us answer that?
I'd like to get it from you because
I thought some things are self-explanatory.
Right.
I don't think there is any political party that has publicly given accountability of funds. Of course, for us, our support is coming from the people, so that is different. But if you're interested to know exactly what the money does, you will know.
Okay,
I am
I'll come to your offices and
Yes, you
dig
come
that
and
deep
ask.
on-
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
just given you an example of what we did. We sent a printer, we sent food, we sent all these teams to the northern Uganda. You remember in Kasese, the Kasese landslide and floods. We supported that. Boston gave in a lot of money, which we sent to support Kasese. And you saw our group delivering stuff to Kasese people.
Right.
Haman, this is the kind of like a personal question. Do you feel like some chapters are not doing enough to support a cause in the diaspora community? You as a diaspora leader?
I think
Do you have the babies, the men, and
I don't want to be very divisive the way you are trying to paint whatever picture you're trying to paint, but of course you don't expect a chapter like, let's say,
okay, let's look at a chapter that has what? Very few people and many people.
Let's
Is that
say
what you?
Iowa or Alabama or wherever, where there's 3 Ugandans to do the same job as Boston does. I think we need to be realistic in that perspective. I think these chapters are made of people, and the more people are interested, the more the more you see the activity. You look at UAE. UAE has a huge population. And this is even mixing in a little bit with what chapters are doing. UAE, they donated physical items to the Kasese, to the people who were affected by the floods in Kasese. So our donations are not strictly financial. I want to also bring that up. There are people, Sweden recently, I don't know if I'm supposed to discuss this, but let me just air it. We had a small evaluation of our status in northern Uganda, and Sweden was delivering in-kind donations. You know, some residents of Sweden have houses in northern Uganda.
Right.
That's where accommodation took place. They offered their cars for transportation.
Right.
And we are looking for donations in kind. We are looking for telephone gadgets, anything. If you give us a pen, it is helpful to this struggle. The guy we are fighting just picks from the transaction you make here, 0.5% mobile money tax. He picks from that and uses in the elections.
All right, you talked about that, and this is going to be my last question to you, Haman, and I think, yes, you're going to give me that answer. Recently, President Museveni signed into law that every candidate is to declare their source of funding. And secondly, when it comes to foreign assistance, you have to declare that perfectly. How are you going to go around it? Because we know that the diaspora community is supporting so much financially. How are you going to go around it so that the money you send back there is received by the right people?
I beg to clarify, how do we go about meeting that
how are you going to send money back, especially towards the elections, yet the Constitution of Uganda doesn't allow that to happen, foreign funds? Now, you are people in the diaspora. You are considered to be from a foreign entity.
I don't think that funds donated by Haman is foreign to Uganda. I don't want you to make me feel like a foreigner in my country, because that will upset me. But I think I hold a stake.
I am looking at citizens who are in the United States of America. They may be Ugandans, but they're citizens of the United States. Those are now foreigners. So how are you going to go about it when the government says foreign assistance is not allowed in the election?
Well, I think the government has said very many things that it is not able to actualize practically. Think about it practically. Now, I don't want to say things that are, how do you know, out of the world. Eh? Let us think about it practically. If I have a house in northern Uganda and I tell people, when you are in the north, sleep in my house. I don't know how the government, I mean, you tell me, how do you think the government is going to stop that donation from coming? I think these rules by Museveni's government are intended to, first of all, frustrate the efforts, but most importantly, instill fear, okay? They don't want you to give saying, okay, we walk around Museveni like we are walking on eggshells. Right. We need to be very direct and realistic.
All right.
If I am donating a pen, I mean, explain to me. I send funds to my mom every day.
Right.
Okay. That, you know, if I feel like sending an organization, if I feel like donating a hospital bed, I can do that, right? And so I think there is no practical way, in realistic terms, of following up on that quote-unquote law.
All right, sure, guys. I want to thank you so much. Should Ugandans expect more from the diaspora community, or it's going to be just business as usual?
Uganda should expect more every day with the efforts of all Ugandans coming together. If we come together as Boston, if we recruit more people join our team, right. That's why I wanted you to let me announce my team. Me as the coordinator of People Power Boston chapter, I have a vice called Mr. Derek Mobiru. Right. We have a secretary called Proscovia Lamono. We have a financial team, right. A team of 3 people. And the leader is, all these people are well conversant with handling cash. We have Mele Chisanje, we have Michael Kakande, we have Mr. Tony Kaziba. That's the financial committee. We have the mobilizers, 4 guys. We have Salongo Musajata Mwava, we have Raymond Matovu, we have Madame Rachel Simbi, we have Fred Rimbaz. All those are mobilizers. They go out to the people. When you see those people, please talk to them. Please join our team. Please accept to be part of us. We have a legal team. You know what we are doing? This is a country which respects the laws. We don't want to do things and then we get in trouble. So we have a legal team led by Madame Agnes Kaziba and Mr. Dan Sebugwao. Right. So we work as a team. Please trust your money with us. It will be in safe hands. It's not handled by one person. And if you hear any other person apart from our team calling for money, please get back to us. Right. I can give my number. My cell phone number is 781-521-3569. All right. 781-521-3569. We have a Cash App number for those who want to donate to Boston chapter. We have a Cash App number. Just go to your phone, in your convenience of your home or at your work, send us something. Make it a daily, a regular donation to People Power. Can I read the number?
Sure. You have
Cash App number is 857-719-4451. 857-719-4451. That number brings a name like People Power Uganda. When you send your money to that Cash App, we receive it, we send you a receipt, and we include you on our list of donations. Right. We transmit the funds, and then we get the receipt, and we give back to the people.
All right, accountability. Thank you so much. How many convince somebody like me, who's not a member of NUP, who's not a member of People Power, to join NUP?
To join NUP?
Right.
People Power?
Our power.
What do you say? I think with the time you've had, right. But I think that it is important for all Ugandans. This struggle, if it is just the few people who are involved in it right now, it will struggle. It will be a bigger struggle. If we join more people, if you join us, for instance, it will be a very smooth struggle. No one will die. At least no one will be killed. We want, on our end, no one will be frustrated like that. It will be a smooth, it will be a show of People Power, it will be a show of the things we stand for. Right. Allow me mention a few events
within 1 minute, yes.
Since I have this opportunity.
Okay.
Canada right now, there is a barbecue going on. UK next weekend, on Saturday, there is a barbecue going on. The Canada barbecue is at Christie Park in Toronto. UK is next weekend. Then the biggest thing is that we'll have a principal address the diaspora at sometime next weekend. Everything will be communicated. But I want to announce I'm very glad that the NUP cards are now in the diaspora.
Okay.
And in Boston too.
UAE, Patricia Mugisha. California, Aisha Nachijova. Canada, Brenda Nakato.
All right.
Boston, she's right here. Just send a message to that number. Let me give my Facebook name so that people can reach out to me if they are in a different part of the world and, and let us know what questions or if they want cards or whatever. My Facebook name is Herman, Herman, and my last name is Ainebyona,
Right.
Ainebyona. Thank you, David.
All right, guys, I want to thank you so much, and to all of you.
What do I do if I need more time?
If you need more time, you will discuss about it.
You need to announce a barbecue.
Yeah.
You need to convince me to join.
Can I
right,
announce one little announcement? Our cards are here and we are giving them out on the 5th of September at a place we shall announce at a barbecue. It's a fundraising barbecue. Boston, please don't disappoint.
All right, guys, I want to thank you so much, Herman. I want to thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, NUP, for joining me. And thank you to all our viewers who have been part of this special edition. We're always going to be doing things like this. And we believe that something is going out and probably NUP, maybe they'll become the new team in the office of Uganda, the highest office in the Ugandan Republic. Thank you so much. Have a good time. See you next weekend. My name is David Lubuurwa. Bye.
Thank you.
I know that the truth will be a lonely road. Lemelanga kono lwaniranga mazima. Uliro yimirira kumazimo yimirira bomo. Never ever expect nobody to defend you. Bagala nyo kugenda mugulu na yete bagala kufa. Bagala nyo kugagawala na yete bagala kutuyana. Bagala nyo kugenda mugulu na yete bagala kufa. Bagala nyo kugagawala na yete bagala kutuyana. Shante twagala ebyo bugaka twagala na yo. Elinsobora kugula moyo. Bichamu bikolwa ulina kutubira bana yo kubyogera kubera nga kubira moyo. Zeje mudensala mweso jiwe. Enjagala ukuchusa kamye chusize. Oba kumogala maloba luzikanwe zimire. Enjagala ukusomesa abana kamisomeseze. Ai zeje numengo yokuzijange China. Katulima pamba tuzala neba designer. Singa twali twazimba oil refiner. Tetandi vuta mitembera saba foreigner. Babuloli buli wakufula beka. Ajane makago na kukolera mateka. Twagala nyo kugenda mungulu na yete twagala kufa. Twagala nyo kugagawala na yete twagala kutuyana. Twagala nyo kugenda mungulu na yete twagala kufa. Twagala nyo kugagawala na yete twagala kutuyana. Atinze bawa kulunga mbagamba nti ebimu byo byavunda. Boba nechokiririza mukiyimirira kobo munga boligwe. Era botankula ng'olutalo nga weesize mikwano gyomba nkusaside. Bebamu abakujubisa ate ne bakulabisa katino sano begendereze. Ati amazima ga mutima gw'okuzina mwana wo. Era muzeeyi yaŋŋambye nalirira famire y'omukyala n'abaana bo. Manyi nti banja bakuwagira but if you stand for the truth you better be ready to stand alone. My son, if you stand for the truth you better be ready to stand alone. Ayaga yaga yaga yao. Bagala nyo kugenda mungulu na yete bagala kufa. Bagala nyo kugagawala na yete